Education is an attempt on the part of the adult members of the human society to shape the development of the coming generation in accordance. Social aim had been stressed as the supporters of this aim believe that an individual cannot live and develop in isolation from society. Raymond says that the isolated individual is a figment. The individual, being a social animal, will be molded to the needs of the society. The individual will develop through social contacts. According to John Dewey, social aim in education is stressed as education should make each individual socially efficient, and this social efficiency must be achieved by the positive use of individual powers and capacities in social occupations. A socially efficient individual is not a drag or parasite on society or any individual. A socially efficient individual is able to earn his livelihood. He also conforms to moral and social standards of conduct. Gandhiji formulated the basic scheme with the objective of making people realize that education was not merely for the benefit of the individual but for the needs of a predominantly rural and agrarian population. Limitations of social aim in education. Social aim of education, and we say social aim of education. Countries, aggression and violence against neighboring countries have reached in educational aims of this type. Militant nationalism, my country right or wrong, are attitudes which may develop in tender minds. In recent years, there has been a tendency in Western countries among the young people to rebel against the cult of social efficiency. Many students prefer the development and growth of individuality and would want to give up this struggle for social efficiency. Some definitions which stress individual and social objective of is our ability to enjoy more things, more, to live more richly, more creatively, and in greater harmony with ourselves, our environment, and our followers. The main objective of general education should be twofold and abilities, no matter what his calling or status in life, and second, to foster in him those interests and abilities that will enable him to continue to grow, to learn joint activity he may be enacted. The goals are to enable each child to play a constructive, repeated role in society and to lead a life which to him will be satisfying. Social and individual purposes of education, social purpose of education and individual purpose of education are not incompatible terms. The Education Commission 1964 to 66 has explained the position as one of principles to be emphasized in the social patterns of society which the nation desires and will come right through the dedication of all to the wider loyalties of national development in all those individuality is of no value and personality is a meaningless term apart from the social environment in which they are developed and made manifest. Self-realization can be achieved only through social service, and social ideas of real value can come into being only through free individuals who have developed valuable individuality. The circle cannot be broken. The individual and the society both be regarded as realities, neither of the two being absolutely independent of the other. Instead of being regarded as isolated entities, the individual and the society should be considered as functionally related to each other. The individual acting on the society and the society reacting on the individual. The which the society in its a social medium to grow aims. We have two types of states, democratic and socialistic, idealistic. In the democratic, we can hope to achieve a synthesis of education for individuality and education for the preservation of the state. But such a reconciliation is not possible in a totalitarian state. We cannot strike a balance between two aims of education, social and individual for a state like Sparta and Nazi Germany. A democratic state uses education as an instrument for its own promotion and preservation, as a totalitarian state does. Both types of states maintain that there is a conflict between one's individual desires and one's duties as a citizen. The democratic state, unlike the other one, requires that the individual should put the needs and desires of others before his own. His activities are regarded as desirable only when they meet certain social obligations. We have therefore in democracy an important place for human relationship or social service and education for citizenship. We will come back to these concepts just now, but what we are interested in here is the examination of possibility of striking a balance between individual and social aims. A balance between the two aims has been struck in modern times. Modern education viewed as a socializing as well as an individualizing agency serves now a dual function. if we want to produce well-adjusted, personally satisfying and socially adjusted personalities through education. That most significant function which modern education seeks to perform today is to combine two general aims of education into a well-integrated whole. Such integration is being achieved in many democratic countries of the world today. Such integration was achieved in the past also. In the days of Pericles in Greece, it is said that the average Athenian citizen did not neglect the state because he took care of his own household. It is heard that the interests of the state were heightened by the development of virtue and wisdom in the individual, and the individual got an opportunity of self-development in the service of the state. Aims of character formation and development in social or religious life. It is essential for a man to be of a good character. An English scholar has rightly said, character is lost, everything is lost. In the character formulation of man, education plays an important role. The prime goal of education is to teach a man how to live with humanity. If a man has higher character, he can lead social and national level to top. Social and national level to top. Spencer has written, the greatest need of man is character, not education. According to Hubbard, the whole work of education may be summed up in the concept morality. Some scholars consider the character in a different and extensive way. A man of firm character determines his goals, aims, and ideals according to his own intellect. It is not necessary that his aims and principles may lead him toward morality. Some scholars suggest that for a man to be of a good character is relevant till the stresses upon morality. According to Henderson, character must be moral. By this it is meant that man must learn to act upon those principles which will promote development of finest personalities in human beings, those which will make the life good for man to live. So it is very necessary for a man to have higher character. Besides it, there are several things which can be learned through education, but a second importance of the aim of character formation and development. Character puts impact on other development also. A sound character brings firmness in human behavior and life philosophy. It brings purity in human thoughts. Man gives up his antisocial tendencies. A man of good character presents an ideal for others. Only character decides the limit of humanity. A man of sound character is respected by all, and a characterless man is a spot on society and nation. Only the character of man is preserver and safeguard of culture and civilization. It transfers and directs the civilizations to the next generation. Character is the basic point of thoughts and philosophy of idealists. If the character is removed from idealism, nothing remains. Criticisms of the aims of character formation and development according to time and place, definition and meaning of character has been changing. Therefore, it is very confusing to decide what is character, as the scope of character is very extensive. Character development puts a positive impact on the aims of education. To deliver speech of character formation to child is to block his natural development because child thinks that education teaches only the lesson of morality and only morality can provide satisfaction in this modern developing age. Character development under education seems only an imagination when a child sees the teacher doing entirely opposite activities. Therefore, sound character should be an indispensable condition for all the teachers, but it is not so. When a child sees other social persons making antisocial activities, these are definitely important works. The other aspects are also important along with character formation, but these are ignored at the process of character formation. After the character formation, character education, students looks at other students with hateful view. He regards them inferior to him. To suppress the child's desires becomes the cause of his several mental disorders. Excessive force on character formation makes child's view concise and narrow, and in developed modern age, he realizes himself not completely developed. Only character. So education regarding life living regarding life living is also necessary with character formation. Behavioralists and naturalists do not give any importance to it. They state that in beginning it is futile to speak of character formation before an uneducated person. Thus, after consideration upon merits and demerits, it can be said that character formation is an aspect for entire development of child. It is necessary to pay full attention to the child, otherwise the child would not be able to succeed in social and family life. Aims of cultural development. The study of history of ancient culture exposes that education is the medium which is a Gandhiji strongly emphasized according to Gandhiji, culture is the foundation, the primary thing. It should show itself in the smallest detail of your conduct and personal behavior. According to E.V. Titer, culture is the competences in which knowledge, belief, art, morality, custom, and qualification and habits are involved, and which the man achieves as a social member. Man gets the heritage of society with the help of education and then transfers to next generation. Through education, culture is kept safe for next progeny. The process is going on in all the nations. Education system should be such that a child may get the education of social and spiritual values artistically, so that a child may understand this complete meaning and modify them according to its requirement. Criticism of the aim of the cultural development. The aim of cultural education enhances traditional life in man. Of the basis of the basis of old experiences, orthodoxiness arise in the view of man. Cultural education is the form of theoretical education only, it lacks practicalness. On this basis, bookish knowledge get an appreciation. This aim increases narrowness in thoughts of men. Teaching methods of cultural education are ancient and explanatory, not like modern methods. The scope of culture is very extensive, so its limitation is impossible. As the culture has several faults, education also becomes faulty, so it is very difficult to decide its defined form. Thus, we can understand that education of culture in modern times for a child is beneficial, but actual and practical knowledge of ancient culture should be provided necessarily. According to T.P. Nunn, national and traditional institutions have a performance on society which make the individual life a trivial thing. So culture is not only the basis of education, but it is an aim also. No doubt the knowledge of culture is very useful, which provides help in the moral development and character formation. Aim of the spiritual development. All the philosophers of education have determined different aims of education. Idealists consider that the main aim of education is to develop spiritual tendencies of a child. They have not regarded material progress as an aim. Plato has chiefly regarded spiritual progress. According to Rusk, education must enable mankind through its culture to enter more and more into the spiritual realm and also to enlarge the boundaries of spiritual realm. Spirituality brings holiness in child's thoughts and develops his meditation power. Spirituality controls the activities of man, inspiring religious tendency of man. Consequently, child does not involve in aristocratic activities, antisocial activities, and leads the development of his personality in positive direction. Feelings of fraternity, sacrifice, and cooperation develop in him. Importance of the aim of spiritual development. It helps the determination of ideals, it brings purity in thoughts, it develops the spiritual view in child imagination. Aim the mental peace and satisfaction. Thus, this aim compels the man for good behavior and feelings because he is always afraid of any supernatural power. So he always makes efforts not to hurt anyone and lead a personal life. Criticisms of the aim of spiritual development. The aim of spiritual education is to give priority in abstract knowledge, whereas practical knowledge is necessary. This is not a means of living. This aim fills hatredness to worldly bondages. So social and practical knowledge of a man is low. In earlier classes, this is nothing than a story because these facts can be understood with mental progress. Spirituality destroys wishes and ambitions of a child. Every child cannot be favorable to nature, so this aim is too unnatural and unpsychological. Certainly the aim of education is important, but its teaching is beneficial only when the child has enough understanding power and capacity of meditation and imagination. Only then they can do self-realization and self-contemplation. Indian educationists emphasize on development of spirituality because this is necessary for social, religious, and international utility. Role of language in education. Thank you.